Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So now let me write another question, okay? Um, I never mind. You know what? I said this was part B. This wasn't part B. It was an entirely new question, right? Now I'm going to write this. I'm going to use this exact. This was part A for the new question. Now I'm going to use this exact scenario just to save time, right? For a part B, right? Now part B is find the probability that Amanda obtains a head at least. Now this is the new thing. At least um 10 times. You know what? Let's instead do at least 13 times. Now every time you see the word at least, you know, you don't have to think a lot. It just means this. Greater than or equal to. Because I mean this is just what at least means, right? So what it's asking you right now. Well, by the way, we don't really have to check for this part whether it is binomial distribution or not. Why? Because we already know from the question that this is a binomial distribution. Unless they give us an entirely new scenario, then we would have to check whether it's a geometric distribution or a binomial distribution. So for now, this is what they're asking you for. Px is greater than or equal to 13. You know, now look, everything still remains the same. P is still 0.67, Q is still 0.33, N is still is equal to 15, right? All of this data is still the same. Nothing else changing, right? What has changed at least? The value for R, right? So X would normally be equal to R, but this time it's actually greater than or equal to R. So out of, let's say, let me write all of the tries, right? There would have been the 15th try, the 14th try, the 13th try, the 11th try, the 12th try, the 11th try, the 10th try, right? And then this goes on all the way to, the first try, right? Actually, there's the zeroth try as well. We're going to learn about this too, but never mind. Now, what do they want from us? They want us to find the probability for these three. Because if it's supposed to be greater than, if it's at least, then they're just saying it must be either 13 or 14 or 15. Now, how do you find this? It's not something difficult. It's just this. Look, you have to find the probability for 13 or the probability for 14 or the probability for 15, right? It's just this. And like I told you, or means a plus, right? That is one of the very basics that we have learned. So that would be Px is equal to 13 plus Px is equal to 14 plus Px is equal to 15, right? This is what it is. And nothing more than that. It's just this simple. So they just kind of, you know what, let's just not go way too deep. It's just this simple, right? So I don't really think you're going to get much out of it by just trying to, you know, keep on trying to scratch it over and over again. And that is it. So every time you see at least, it's just greater than or equal to, and this is how you find it, right? You just go for what you actually need, and that would be 13, 14, or 15. You know, it's just going to be 13, 14, or 15, or more than that. Or, I mean, more than 13. So in this case, it's just Px is equal to 13, 14, 15. Now, how do you find it? Notice these individually are just exactly like what we have done over here, right? What we did over here. And this is also like what we did over here. It's just that the numbers are changed. X was 5 over here, and over here it's going to be 13, 14, or 15, right? So you're just going to solve all of these individually. It's just that. So what we're going to do here is this. NCR, N is again 15, C 13, 0.67 and 0.33. This is going to be, 15 minus 13, and this is going to be 13, right? Plus 15 C14, 0.67, 0.33, right? So 0.67 here is 13, and this would, sorry, that's 14, right? And this is going to be 15 minus 14. And plus 15C15, that is going to give you a 1, 0.67, 15, and 0.33. That is going to be a 15 minus 15, right? That is going to turn into a 0. So if you are looking at such a question's marking scheme, they might not give you this entire thing. They might just give you this. Why? Because this is going to turn into a 1, and this is also going to turn into a 1. So when you multiply by ones, the answer doesn't quite change. This is just why they don't write it this way. So this is going to be your entire answer. Just this. This is how you tackle the, at least questions. And that would just end of the case. For the next case, we're going to do it in the second part. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That would be the fourth part.